I want to get right into what's going on in Nagorno-Karabakh, and I want to speak about your story and your daughter's story. But first and foremost, let's start with the blockade. There are a lot of people around the world, especially some people in Azerbaijan, claiming that this blockade isn't real, that it's not happening. But you live in Nagorno-Karabakh, so tell us
Yes,
about
I'm
what is
from there.
happening.
I'm the real victim from this region. There are 100,000 Armenians living there. 30,000 from them are children, and they are really in need of food, medicaments. There is no supply of this necessary elements for living. We're blocked there for already 30 days from now. And there is like every day there were hundreds of tons of foods of goods coming from Armenia to Nagorno-Karabakh, and now it's closed. It's like the veins that you cut, and people are dying there really because it's awful. The atmosphere is really, really tough, and it's been serious already because the first few days when the blockade started, we didn't feel this, but now it's getting worse and worse every day.
Well, it's been, as you said, I mean, this started around, it was December 12th. This has been a long time now that this is going on. And it's been kind of disturbing to see people denying that it's happening. When you have this, and just so people understand who are watching and listening to this is the one land way in to Nagorno-Karabakh that is being blocked. So
Yes,
all the
this is the only road connecting Nagorno-Karabakh with the rest of the world. There is no air connection, like no planes, because Azerbaijani forces, like Azerbaijani government told that they will shut down the helicopters or airplanes that fly from Stepanakert. And there is no road leading to Armenia, and that this is the only road that goes, that connects Artsakh with the whole world.
Now,
It's a catastrophe. It's like real humanitarian catastrophe happening there. Everything is closed, like vegetable markets are closed. There are some tickets that you have to buy food. There is
wow.
No, you cannot buy more than 10 eggs per person, or like you cannot find milk, or you cannot find like olive, like oil. It's very, very frightening.
Yeah, it's a scary situation. And, we've been covering it at CBN News. Your particular situation, though, which I'd like to talk about now, with your 5-year-old daughter who was diagnosed with cancer and had received a treatment, correct me if I'm wrong, in Germany, was requiring another treatment to go back to Germany. And initially you were blocked from leaving, correct?
Right, but my daughter is 4 years old and she has liver cancer, but that doesn't change the situation. She still needs treatment. She still needs medicaments, and there is nothing to do with that in Artsakh because we have no necessary equipment. We have no doctors, and we have nothing because the road is blocked. We cannot go out. We don't have doctors who can come there and have a necessary treatment. And with the mediation of a Red Cross committee, we only had the only chance to go out from this territory. So and thank God we did it.
Well, yeah. And, as this was going on, knowing that your daughter has liver cancer and is ill and needs these treatments, what were you thinking once the blockade started and you knew you had appointments coming? What were the sorts of thoughts going through your mind?
Of course, we were frightened, and we were really worried about this situation because her life depends on this treatment, and we continue like checkups and everything. And there is no possibility to do this there. And the road was blocked, and we were waiting until something could be done with this. We really want this international community to talk about this and to talk about, not to only to talk about, but to act, to do something to help these people live their normal lives. And
yeah,
that is it.
Well, you were able though to get out. So you are now in Armenia. You're going to be heading to Germany in a few days for your daughter's checkups and treatments. How were
Right.
you able to get out? How did that happen?
We applied, we gave our papers to the International Committee of Red Cross, and they mediate like getting out from this territory. And then we went to Goris, to the hospital of the Goris, and we changed the ambulance and came to Yerevan just a few hours ago.
I would imagine
it was a very difficult path.
So, and here's another question for you. When those appointments are done and you want to go back home, how does that work? Are you able to get back in, or will you hold off on that?
Of course, we want to go back home because this is our homeland. This is where we were born, and we want to go back home. But we will see if it can work with, again, the International Red Cross Committee, because if the road is not opened yet, so I think it won't be possible. We will wait until they will do something with this. But we really hope that this will happen soon, because people there are really suffering. The situation is crucial.
And this could erupt into something much bigger. You know, right now you have the blockade, but at any moment there could be a war that breaks out, or an invasion into your homeland.
Yeah, we are all afraid of this, but because everybody now is talking about Ukraine. They're giving lots of help, but we want the world to hear our voices too.
Absolutely.
Because nothing is like we speak about it loud, and we try to reach the international community, international organizations like UN, but nobody's answering us.
Well, and to see a situation with such a massive humanitarian crisis with 100,000 people, and you mentioned food and resources, but I again want to point people back to your story. You have a 4-year-old daughter who has liver cancer, desperately in need of treatment and assistance, and you were essentially waiting, afraid that you were not going to be able to get her out. There are other people there dealing with similar situations, I would imagine.
There are lots of people who are in need. They need to be transported to Armenia because of lack of medication, because lack of the specialists and equipment and everything, but they are not able to do this, and they need to get into the care, to wait for weeks or months, and I don't know if their situation can wait. It's horrible.
What, you mentioned just now that Ukraine, the world is focusing on Ukraine, billions of dollars being sent there to help them against, the Russian incursion. I also know that, Russia has been a peacekeeping force, or has supposed to have been a peacekeeping force in the midst of all this. Right. And Ukraine is certainly complicating that. But what would your message be? People are watching right now. A lot of people are watching this. What would your message be to the world? If you had one moment to sort of say to people, wake up, help us, what would you say?
We just want the international community to hear our voices, to help us to do something, really act, not to talk, but act, to open the only road that leads to the whole world from this small country that is called Nagorno-Karabakh, Artsakh. The region, Armenian region, which is populated with Armenians, and they need to have their peaceful life. They need to continue their living on their homeland.
Just a final question for you, and it's sort of a big question, but this is a complicated dynamic that goes back many, many decades. But in your view, what is it that is motivating Azerbaijan to take these actions and create this blockade?
I think they just want territories, and that is all. And we assume this territory as our homeland, not the territory as the soul, the ground, but our homeland, our soul. And for them, it's like just the territory. It's like politics. I don't know. But there are Armenians. It's their homeland. They will never go away from this land, and they will continue living no matter what happens. despite the blockade, they feel very, very patriotic.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time today. We'll be praying for you and for your daughter and your family, and we appreciate you
Thank you
sharing
so
your
much.
story with us.
Yeah, thank you.